All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you for taking your time out of your day to watch this video and to learn more about Usery Mountain Park. My name is Carl Smith, and I'm Adult Services Librarian at the Mesa Public Library Downtown Branch.
And I'm Stephanie Foster, Adult Services Librarian at the Red Mountain Branch Library. We have a very special guest with us today. We'll be talking with Brennan Basler, who's the interpretive ranger at Usery Mountain Regional Park. And he's known as Ranger B to his many fans. So welcome, Ranger B. It's nice to host you virtually.
Thank you, Stephanie and Carl. It's great to be with you and have an audience that's interested in hearing about our park and about the desert and the many opportunities and adventures that await you. I'm the interpretive ranger at Usery Mountain Regional Park, interpretive meaning educational. So my basic responsibility is to design and lead nature programs, both for the public that come to the park and privately and outreach programs and that kind of stuff. I don't know how many of you have been out here to Usery Mountain Regional Park, but we are in Northeast Mesa. Many of you have seen that mountain with the Phoenix sign on the side of the mountain. So we're right across the street from that. We're located 7 miles north of the US 60. You were to head east toward Apache Junction, not quite that far, and head north or left on Ellsworth. We're 7 miles north. The road changes names to Usery Pass, just north of McDowell. We are one of 11 Maricopa County parks, and these 11 parks comprise the largest county park system in the United States of the over 3,000 counties in the USA. Our park is 3,600 acres. We have 22 different trails comprising 33 miles of hiking, biking, and horseback riding. We have a lot of opportunities out here. We have numerous picnic sites. We have a campground, year-round campground here. We have a nature center where we do our indoor programs, house some live desert critters in here, and some interpretive signs and information about area opportunities for adventure. We have one of the top-rated archery ranges in the Western United States here in the park. We also have a viewing pond, a birding station. We have an outdoor fitness gym as well. You can work out your muscles facing the Superstition Mountains from our park. So we have a lot of opportunities here.
So this is a very unique time for us all, and the parks have had quite a few challenges on their plates right now. Not only are you focused on keeping everyone safe during the COVID-19 outbreak, but now you must also deal with forest fires. Are there any updates on the fires in that region?
All right, great question. Fortunately, we have not been directly impacted by the fires. They have been in the area. We had the big Sawtooth fire out in the Superstition Mountains just a few weeks ago. That was east of us. We're still very vigilant about the fire issue here in our county parks. In fact, everywhere in Arizona, whether you're a city park, a county park like us, a state park, or a national park or forest, we're being very vigilant. Right now in the Maricopa County parks like Usery, we have a fire ban in place. So if you're camping with us, unfortunately, you can't have a campfire or use our open coals or wood burning. You can use gas stoves for cooking. We also have a smoking ban, no smoking for obvious reasons right now with the extremely dry conditions. As you know, we had a lot of rain in the fall, this past fall, 2019, and into the winter. So we have a plethora of plants that now have dried out. It's crispy out there. We have not had any measurable rain here at Usery Park, if you can believe this, since March 10. So we are approaching July 10 will be 4 months without any rain. So extremely dry conditions. I'm hyper vigilant when I'm out doing my patrols in the park. I'm asking everybody to be an extra set of eyes. If you're out driving, just take a look around. You might see a pile of smoke coming from a certain area, and you'll want to call that in because it's just a tinderbox out there right now.
So like many recreational spaces, we're all working to keep people safe from COVID while still giving them an opportunity to take a break from staying at home. How has the pandemic affected your work at Usery Park, and how do you think it will affect everything in the future?
Okay, great question, Stephanie. So far, our attendance here at the park has really not been impacted by the virus. If anything, early on, when they were shutting everything down and so many venues were closed, people were desperate for things to do. So we saw an increase in both vehicle traffic and foot traffic here in the park. To the point where our park was overflowing. We had to shut it down periodically throughout the day on weekends just to accommodate all the people that were coming here. Since then, it's lightened up. Many of the venues here around the state have opened up. That is that. As far as the virus, how it's impacted us now, attendance has stayed about the same as average. However, unfortunately, our park programs are canceled indefinitely because of the issue of gathering groups together in confined spaces, whether it's outdoors or indoor programs. So we'll be posting on our website when they are up and running again, but that could be a while. Another unfortunate aspect to this is that our nature center is closed indefinitely because of the virus. People would come here to the Nature Center for our indoor programs. They'd come for information, both about the park and area opportunities for adventure. They'd come see some of our live critters that we have here. So our Nature Center is closed indefinitely until we get the okay from the state and the county to reopen. Our group campgrounds are closed as well because of the gathering of groups during COVID-19. Fortunately, our regular park campground, the Buckhorn Campground, is open, and we have been open and hope to continue to be open year round. So that's a great opportunity. All our trails are open and our picnic areas as well. So that's another good news to the otherwise negative news.
Well, that's good to know that they can still take advantage of some of the opportunities there. So how do you think being outside helps people during a crisis like this?
Well, as you know, because of so many unsettling events going on right now, there seems to be a intersection of a lot of these things happening in 2020, the year we'll probably never forget. Anyways, because of all these unsettling issues, there's a lot of stress right now. We're all experiencing stress and anxiety to some degree, some more than others, but it's just a normal human reaction to things that are happening that are unfamiliar and of a serious nature. Because of that, stress levels are up. We have a lot of anxiety in society right now. Levels of depression have increased. So getting outdoors is the tonic to dealing with a lot of this stuff. Not that it's the be all and end all, but we definitely know that getting outside is a de-stressor. I go out and hike, whether I'm being paid to do it or on my days off, just to get out. And we all know what it's like to spend an hour or two in nature. We always come back happier and feeling more invigorated and less stressful, putting things into perspective. So people really do need the outdoors at all times, but especially at times such as these, to get out there and enjoy. There's a lot of research studies that have happened, especially over the last decade, that have clearly revealed that nature is good for your health, and that people that get outdoors on a regular basis tend to be happier and healthier. There's a lot of debate and discussion going on now in this country about healthcare, and I view getting outdoors as a healthcare plan. It really is. It's a cheap form of healthcare because statistics prove that people that get outside, exercise, and enjoy the outdoors will be better off in the long run, mentally, physically, socially, relationally, spiritually, even, to enjoy what great outdoors offers.
So Ranger B, in general, do you have any recommendations for enjoying the outdoors for people who want to enjoy the outdoors in light of the virus? So how can they, you know, anything that they can do in light of the virus? So any recommendations for enjoying the outdoors during this time?
All right, great question, Carl. Yes, I do have some recommendations. One is, we've heard this 1,000 times, but it's very, very important to seek to maintain a 6-foot distance from other people, other than those that you may live with your own family. That's really important. Now, that's a challenge sometimes. Yes, the outdoors is a big place, but we're not all equally distributed outdoors. We tend to congregate around the same spots, whether they're parking lots, whether they're picnic areas, whether they're public restrooms, whether they're trails or outdoor exercise areas, playgrounds, things like that. We have playgrounds here in our park as well. So it can be a challenge. So I recommend to people during this time that want to get outdoors during this pandemic is that you are continually aware of what's going on around you. So, for instance, when I'm out there hiking, I am aware of who's coming up behind me, who's coming toward me on the trail or on the path, and just be aware, not to be hyper or paranoid or anything like that, but to be aware of your surroundings. And I give way to people coming up behind me or coming down in front of me, whether I'm going up, coming down, sideways, it doesn't matter. I'm just aware of that, keep my ears open, my eyes open, and I just kind of peel off to the side and let people pass me. Now, people going up the trail have the right of way. They have farther to go. Usually they're putting more effort into getting where they're going, such as up to the Wind Cave here in Usery Park. Their visibility is also more limited than those people coming down. But when I'm going up the trail, I give way to everybody, because I'm not going to sit there and wait for somebody that may or may not know those kind of courtesy rules and stuff. 6 foot's important to me. So just be aware of your surroundings, give people their space, and it shouldn't really be a problem. I do avoid big crowds at busy times. If you can at all get out and hike during the week, you'll run into a lot less people than you will, say, on a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning, for sure. We all have to use the restroom at some points in time. So in that case, it's really hard to maintain a 6-foot distance going into a public restroom, say at a park or outdoor venue. So in that case, you want to keep a little mask with you. I keep one in my pocket or in my backpack, put it on when you use the restroom. I've always wanted to wear a mask in a public restroom anyways. Here's your excuse to do it without feeling like a geek or anything like that. So there you go. And then make sure you wash your hands well and maintain your distance. I always bring hand sanitizer with me because sometimes you're touching things, you're touching doors and handles and sinks in a public restroom, the dryer, whatever. And always have that hand sanitizer ready as well.
Okay, this is a somewhat related question to all that. So other than being aware of your health care, what are other ways that people can stay safe when they're hiking and recreating in the parks, especially in the summertime?
Yes, great question, Stephanie. Wow, I could go hours for this, but I only have about a minute. I teach whole classes on, desert hiking, desert safety, enjoying the outdoors in Arizona, that type of thing. My big key to all that I teach about safety really boils down to one word, and that is preparation. Planning ahead is critically important. I can show you statistically that you're much safer off planning ahead, that in fact, what you do before your outdoor adventures is actually more important than what you do during your adventures as far as safety and enjoyment of your experience. And that means bringing everything you need to bring with you, bringing a map, bringing a signaling device like a whistle, a first aid kit. I always recommend bringing extra water when you head out into the desert, more than you think you're ever going to use, for 3 reasons. One is we're in a desert here in this area. There's high rates of evaporation. Our bodies are losing more water than we realize. We don't sweat like we would, say, if we lived in a humid environment like Florida. So your body is losing a lot of fluid, and you want to be replenishing that on a regular basis. On top of that, not only do we live in a dry place, we live in a hot place. Just step outside today. Here it's almost July, but it's hot out there, and people often don't realize how hot it really gets. And that is because the official temperature that we get from the internet, the news, the radio, your smartphone, whatever, is given to you as the temperature only in the shade, not in the sun. So that's how temperature is measured, in the shade. But I always ask our hikers, where do we spend the most time when we're outdoors, in the shade or the sun? Well, obviously in the sun. So here's a rule of thumb for this area. You can add an average of 40 degrees Fahrenheit on top of the average daily temperature when you're outdoors in the afternoon on a fully sunny day, which is most days here in this area. So that means a day where it's 100 degrees, that's in the shade. It's going to be about 140 out in the direct sun. And I've measured it to 50 to 55 degrees difference on some of the hottest days in the summer. So it could be 120 and yet 170 or more in the direct sun. So
yikes.
Keep that in mind. It's hot. The other issue is that there's no such thing as a flat hike in Arizona. Everything is hilly or mountainous. So you're going uphill. You're putting more effort into it. You're losing body fluids, and it's warm. And so you always want to bring more water than you ever think you're going to use. So also avoid the heat of the day. So when you hike, especially during the summer, the hotter months, I highly recommend getting out as early as possible. I know people tell me, wait a second, Ranger B, it's my day off. I don't want to get up and go hiking. On my day off, I want to sleep in. Well, I like to sleep in too. I have to admit, I'm not a super early bird, but here's what you want to do. Get out as early as possible while it's survivable in the heat here, and then go home and you have the whole rest of the day to nap. So there you go. Get an early start, be off the trail by mid-morning, because those temperatures are going to be increasing dramatically. So I highly recommend as well bringing a cell phone, but not counting on it, because as you know, the terrain can affect receptivity with your phones, and there's dead spots out there, especially when you get in the mountains, even on the edges of the valley here in the Metro Phoenix area. So bring a cell phone, but don't count on it to save you. So you want to bring other things to help save you, like water and avoiding the heat of the day and a map and things like that.
All right.
Thank you very much. That's all good tips.
So Ranger B provided us with some pictures that you saw at the beginning of this video, and you'll see some more at the end. Really wonderful animal photos. We were laughing about, you'll notice one of the photos is a really funny picture with some rabbits. And I was wondering, Ranger B, if you had any stories about the animals in the park, any new behaviors you've seen, or just anything over the years, anything you've encountered that you'd like to tell us about.
Wow, if I had the rest of the day, I could tell you tons of animal stories. This is one of the cool things about coming out into the nature, because you just never know what you're going to see or what you're going to experience. Every time you go out, you're going to have some kind of adventure. It may not be an Indiana Jones adventure where you're discovering the Temple of Doom or something like that, but it could be something as seeing an animal that you've never seen before, or laughing because some animal does something crazy that you see down the trail while you're walking down the trail, or some bird that poops on your head or something like that. You just never know what you're going to experience. But one of the funniest things that happened to me is I do a lot of indoor and outdoor programs. Anyways, I was doing a program called All About Roadrunners in our classroom. We had a lot of people. The room was packed. This was obviously pre-COVID-19. And as I was talking about roadrunners, a roadrunner, a live wild roadrunner, actually came up on our back porch where our classroom is, and we have windows that go all the way down almost to the ground. And the roadrunner came right up. That has never happened. I've been here 12 and a half years. Never happened before, never happened since. And the Roadrunner came right up to the glass and looked right in at the classroom and looked at me and just stood there. And we were just spellbound. I didn't know what to say, which is a rare thing. And we all kind of turned and looked at the Roadrunner, and he looked at us. And I don't know. I think he was fact checking what I was saying, because he looked like he was really curious as to what was being said about Roadrunners, you know. So that was one of the funny things that happened here in the park.
Did he go beep beep?
They actually do. I'm not kidding you. They make a sound similar to the one on the Warner Brothers cartoon. If you Google Roadrunners or audio Roadrunners on the internet to get an audio recording, one of the sounds they make is kind of a beeping sound. I know it sounds like I'm making this up, but
That's interesting.
try it out. Yeah.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
It's a great story. Thank you. So, Ranger B, why did you decide to become a ranger?
Well, great question. I've always loved nature and getting out into nature. So if you love the outdoors, it's a great career. But it's not just about me, it's about other people as well. So not only does it fulfill a personal ambition, that is to connect with nature and explore nature and learn so much about it and to have adventures out there, but also introducing other people to nature. So I kind of view that as my mission in life, whether I'm getting paid for it or not. I love to kind of take the hand of nature and unite it with the hand of our park visitors and create an experience where people are going to come away inspired and enthused and informed about the outdoors. And then they're going to want to take that to their families and friends and invite them to come along for these similar type adventures. So I think just to connect with nature on a personal level and to connect others to nature is the reason I became a ranger.
All right, thank you.
So you're sort of a nature missionary.
I guess you could call it that.
Well, that's great. I think that's so important because when we live in the city, we get disconnected from nature a little bit, and then you forget how important it is to our whole lives. So I think that's a great mission.
I was wondering if you could tell us a story, an interesting story, something, what's the most interesting thing that's happened to you or something that stands out? Though that Roadrunner story was pretty good, but if there's anything else, what is a story or something that's happened to you that you'd like to share while working there at Usery Mountain Park?
Wow, where do I start? I actually do an entire program called the Crazy Ranger Stories. And I go on for an hour to an hour and a half and tell stories that have happened in my 12 and a half years at the park. Crazy Ranger stories, you know, that can be read both ways. So either the ranger is crazy or the story's crazy. And in fact, both are true, I will admit, true confessions. I've had so many crazy things happen in this park. I think I might write a book someday about it. I told you about the Roadrunner coming to check out the Roadrunner talk. Never had that happen since.
Mm-hmm.
I had a Roadrunner. I was leading a field trip out on the Merkle Trail, and I had over 100 kids, grade school kids, just surrounding me as we were walking down the trail. And this Roadrunner, another Roadrunner, came walking toward us up the trail. And Roadrunners are typically really wary and elusive. They don't normally let you get too close. This Roadrunner kept coming right toward us on the trail. And I had all these kids mobbed around me and going back about 100 yards on the trail with all the teachers and chaperones and parents and stuff. And this Roadrunner kept coming toward us. And I thought, of course, this thing's going to see us and it's going to turn and run away from us. And no, it didn't. It just kept coming right up to us. So I had us all stop. I said, hey guys, this Roadrunner's paying us a visit here. Let's stop and see what it does. So we all kind of stopped, and it came right up about 5 feet in front of us and stopped and looked up at us, and it started clacking its beak like this, click, click, clack, 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 like that. And I had never had that happen. I didn't know what to say. I was speechless, which is a rare thing for me. And obviously it was trying to talk to us and say something. I turned to the kids and I said, you know, if I was a really good ranger, I could interpret what this roadrunner's trying to tell us. But I think what it was trying to tell us is we were getting too close to the nest. There had to be a nest in the area, and it was because that's just not a normal behavior for any animal to do that. So that was kind of cool. The talking roadrunner. Yeah, hey, I got lots of stories about roadrunners. I think some of the funniest, most entertaining things that happen as well come from kids' comments on my program, and half of all my stories are kids' funny comments. And I'll just throw one out there really quick. I was doing a program on roadrunners scorpions in the classroom, all about scorpions. I do that before my scorpion hunts on summer nights. And I was mentioning how long scorpions have been around. I said, hey guys, I think I had like close to 75 people in that room that night. I said, did you guys know that scorpions have been around over 400 million years, longer than the dinosaurs were on Earth? And some little kid just instantly out loud in front of the whole class said, wow, he says, that's older than my dad. So comments, you just never know what the kids are going to say, and they really bring a lot of joy and a lot of happiness to my career here at the park.
That's great.
So you could probably just write a book about that.
I could.
Oh.
Well, it was really great talking to you today. You guys do great work at the park, at Usery Mountain Regional Park.
Yes, I'm sure that people will be happy to know that the park is still open for at least some of the outdoor opportunities that they need to refresh themselves. And we thank you so much for joining us and sharing your stories with our community today.